All right, it's time for Power Hour, all you bell-to-bellers. Thank you all for sticking around to see if we can find any opportunities here. And at the end of the day, we got KV with us. What's up, KV?
What is up, everyone? Happy Thursday.
And to you. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Started trading in 2013 with penny stocks. Wasn't so successful with that. Went into options. Have been doing options for about 5-6 years now. And this is my first year actually in futures. So
wow. And how's that going? You liking it?
I'm liking it. Yep. I haven't fully transitioned from options to futures, but it's a mix right now. What I was doing previously with options, I would say helps with the futures trading because I was mainly a scalper with options anyway. So with futures, I like the increased volatility with NQ compared to the QQQ sometimes. Not always, but sometimes.
Right. Do you have social media stuff you want to put out there? Or?
Yep. So mainly we use Instagram, TradeLikeKV. So simple, TradeLikeKV, 2 letters there. Instagram, we're the most active in.
Cool. So have you traded today?
We traded a little bit in the morning. Probably wasn't the best idea. Even during the day, hasn't been the best setups today.
Right.
Compared to the drop that we had yesterday,
yeah.
It is not. Yeah.
Did you catch that?
Yeah, we caught the drop yesterday with a team on voice chat.
Nice.
It was good. We're not getting anything similar today, it looks like. So far, at least, no. Let's see though. We still got 1 hour into the market close. So
yep.
Let's see. We're just hovering over view up right now. A couple of key levels, just making this zone pretty tight.
What are you trading mostly? NASDAQ?
Mostly NASDAQ. I'm not sure why I decided to just go with NASDAQ because on my options trading, I am trading the SPY as well. So I'm trading the S&P as well. But futures, I've just stuck with the NASDAQ.
6 of one, half a dozen of the other. Oyster, tomato.
Yeah, as I said earlier, there are times that I like NASDAQ futures more than the options of QQQ, but it will depend because you don't need much for you to capitalize on the movement. Whereas with option contracts, depending on, in the money, you're waiting for those contracts to flip. Whereas in futures, we're not doing that. There's no decay. There's not a lot of things which in options just work against you sometimes.
Yeah. That decay will get you, won't it?
Yeah, especially in this price action like today, right? There's been more times that we've stuck into a range rather than seeing clean trends. So trading options on this day, probably not the best. Probably not the best, especially on a Thursday, right? If you're trading same week expiration, which is tomorrow, we're close to that. The theta is just eating up the premiums right now.
Mm-hmm. Do you ever write options, KV?
I do not actually. The last time someone asked me about this, literally a few days ago as well. The last time I was dealing with writing options was back when I was in corporate in the equity sales desk here in New York. We were writing options. We were doing so many combinations in terms of legged contracts. The largest one I think I've seen was about 35. So 35 option legs in one position, which was pretty wild. So you're opening calls, you're opening puts, you're writing calls and puts at the same time for one specific setup, which was pretty wild to see.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, right now it's mainly vanilla options, right? It's just mainly buying calls, buying puts.
Got it. No call spreads, put spreads, anything like that.
Yeah, I haven't done those in a while.
Okay, right. Yeah, I mean, you hear about people that are just collecting premium, making money for a year or two, and then that one day when they get caught on something, they lose 2 years worth of profits.
Yeah, it's collecting premium. I would say it's a little bit more passive, right? So if you have a lot of capital, you want to sell premium, it's a little bit more passive, right? But again, I just can't control the risk as much as I would like there.
Yeah. No, you can't. Good to see you here, Patrick. I wish that I could get you some sort of program that would shut off your computer at 11 o'clock. I wish I had that for myself some days. And alchemist, I'm not locked in this room. That's good. I like it.
So we're holding a key level here from NQ. I think everyone can see my charts. Yeah. So everyone can see my charts. What I have here, guys, just so you can understand a little bit about my system as well, since I believe it's the first time sharing my charts. So I'm mainly trading off support and resistance. Probably that's all, but it's a combination of how those support and resistance lines are found. The first ones, which you see on the screen here, all these lines, guys, are fully automated. So I used to do manual levels for a long time. And then one morning I was like, what am I doing every morning that I could just automate a little bit? Like, is there something that I'm repeating over and over again in my technical analysis process? So that's where we came up with these automated levels. Works for any type of futures, even stocks as well. And the beauty of this is they get updated every morning, so it's not like they'll be outdated anytime. They're always extracting new data from the markets, which because the volatility changes as well. So like S1 to S2 is this far apart right now, but for example, on some days where there's less volatility, they could be
a lot closer.
They could be closer with each other.
Yeah, but at S2, put in that low down there. That's pretty nice. I was long down there. I got ticked out, and then I missed
the bounce right here was pretty good. Yeah, the morning at the blue level. This is what I like to call the magic level because it works like a charm in the morning. Bounce 10:09 right there. These are New York times, guys. I'm in New York, so it's New York timings here.
Now this is your programming?
Yes. Yep.
So these aren't just like simple, like we used to call them floor pivots?
No, this is my formula. It is my formula.
Got it.
Yep, it is my formula. It is taken from previous day and also previous 14 days price action. And there's a formula that spits all these together. I have here the key levels, like today's open. I have previous day close, previous day low. Like I have the key ones. But you also have the proprietary ones, which
now did you code all that?
Yes. I'm not fully into coding, but I would say it's a hobby right now. So I like to mess with it sometimes.
Yeah, if I try coding, I'll mess up everything. Hey, Robert's with us. Hello, Robert.
I heard. Gonna say, did somebody mention coding here? Welcome, hello everybody. Just happened to jump in at the last second. We had a little schedule change. Welcome to Power Hour. We're gonna bring the power this time. It is Power Hour, right? Make sure I get the schedule right.
So
one other way that I've seen a lot of people ask this, especially when they start futures trading, and this is what I asked myself when I first kind of made the transition from options to futures is, okay, at any point of time, what's my risk? Because everyone's talking about the profits, but it really doesn't matter if you don't know what the risk is.
Risk first every time.
Like this right here, this could blast off to day high, but does it make sense for me to enter right here, looking at the risk? Because this could drop back to S1 here and bounce again, which is too much. Like from here, 95 to 67. About 30 points right there, which I'm not comfortable with, for example.
And it's all risk now.
And it's all risk. So the way I like to do this, another coding of mine here. So I have this small table at the bottom. Not sure how great it's seen on the screen. Probably it's squashed a little bit.
Yeah, it's a little bit squashed.
But basically what this shows me right now is at this moment of time, my risk is 9.11 points. So at this moment in time, if I'm entering a position and then I'm putting a stop loss, which is lower than that, it's too tight. It is too tight. I'm probably going to get stopped. I'm probably going to get stopped out of it. And this just helps me a lot because today it's 9 points, or at this moment of time, it's 9 points. If you were looking at what was happening Monday or Tuesday, which was very slow, this was around 4 to 5 points. So it makes me adjust my position sizing based on how the market volatility is as well. So usually what I've seen on average risk on NQ is about 8 to 9 points. So right now we're at the average. Anytime it goes above 10 points, I size down at least half of my position.
Okay.
anytime it's below the 8 points, I could get in full size or even higher.
Now,
Because
what kind of size do you trade?
I usually like to trade, and this is what I recommend people as well, with the contract size that Topstep gives you. I would recommend trading with 1/3 of that for a full size.
So at 150K, you'd say 5 lots.
5 to 6 maximum. That's my maximum, like 5 to 6.
Okay.
And then again, on decreased volatility days, I could increase that. And on days that are more volatile, like this morning, if I click replay, but if you see the price action in the morning, much more volatile right now, the risk was 18 points. So I got to ask myself, entering with 6 contracts, am I comfortable with getting stopped at an 18-point stop loss? Probably no. So that's where you decrease your size and just manage the position a little bit better.
All right. You're not seeing, I mean, you were just talking about VWAP. Is that someplace that you would think about an execution?
Yeah. So going back to my system, that's the first way we find the levels, guys. And the only other indicator that I use out there is the VWAP. So we have the VWAP right here in the middle, which everyone has. But what we've coded as well is these multi-timeframe VWAPs. So the concept of VWAP, guys, is it connects at the beginning of the day, right? So it's the average price for the day. But what I managed to do is, what if we were to look at a 2-day VWAP, a weekly VWAP, a monthly VWAP, and so on? So this is where all these lines come from, and they work pretty well. If you see the rejections here in the morning, here as well, these are all multi-time frame VWAPs. So they are taken from multiple days and giving us the average there based with volume as well.
Interesting.
And they could be, either 1 day prior, 2 day prior. We have monthlies, we have, yearly VWAPs. So it's connecting to one specific point in time and then giving us the whole VWAP. So it's a little bit of a nuanced version of the usual VWAP that everyone has on their screens there.
Interesting.
Because my saying, this is how I like to look at the market. The price always comes back to its average. Maybe it's gonna take a while. It might take a day, 2 days, a year, but it always finds a way to come back to the average and retrace back to it.
So basically, I mean, is VWAP your average?
Yes. Yep.
And you would probably be talking about daily VWAP.
Exactly, right? So right here, this one, the red one that we have right now, I believe this is the highest point of the last 90 days. It connects to that point and it gives us the average, which right now it is acting as resistance for us. It acted as resistance at 245. Now either we see that break there, go for the opening price and get to this supply zone up here, or we could see a double top formation here at this key view up line.
All right.
Yeah, view up. It's I switched. It's been a year almost now that I don't use any type of moving average or nothing. Just completely, because I used to have the 9 EMA, 21 EMA, and 55 EMA, and
you get too much of that shit on there.
Too much, and sometimes it works, but like right here in this market environment, there's probably no way a moving average will work because there's not a trend here that could make it seem a little bit cleaner. But yeah, I mean, the move so far, it's the S1 bounce working. We're seeing a peak above this high here. Next stop is obviously opening price.
Got it. Well, I'm currently long, basically S&P VWAP, 47.75. I mean, it's 47.75.75. So we got it going on a little bit here, but
I think ES as well. Key point. Let's see how ES is looking.
Yeah, let's take a look.
So nice S1 bounce on ES as well. Looks like we're breaking above this high here. Very similar, both markets. I would say the NQ a little bit stronger right now. On the move.
I'd go with that. Yeah. Robert, how are you doing today?
I'm doing all right. We've been like a lot of us here in production, just a lot of hats. Wearing a lot of hats these days, so we're all kind of bouncing around and making the show go on as it should.
Well, it's a good thing you automated your strategy then.
Isn't that amazing? I just happened to look at it because I saw this thing starting to move up. I'm like, great, it just popped that, took that pop, and we're all good to go.
Nice.
So here's the power of technology. Check this out. If you're looking at me right now, watch this. We're gonna join Hogue in his little area. I am all about the technology.
That is beautiful. I think that's great.
KV, that's good stuff that you're talking about. I'm glad to be sharing that with our viewers. Everybody trades differently, and everybody has a little different view of VWAP. And I want to ask you a question. You had mentioned that you don't use any type of moving averages, and I want to ask you a question. Do you not view VWAP as a moving average, because it is a weighted average price, but it's weighted by volume? How would you differentiate between the two? That, like a newer trader, they'd be like, well, I don't know about that. And clarify that for me.
Yeah. So volume for me is very important. I've seen traders out there who do not use volume whatsoever, even remove it from their charts. But to me, volume is very important. So I'd rather use VWAP, which gives more weight to the candles that have higher volume, rather than just a moving average, which is just taking the average price and that's it. Plus, a moving average is always continuous, whereas a VWAP, again, anchors at specific moments in time, right? So a daily VWAP is only taking into consideration what's happening right here, connects from the open, and that's all, whereas a moving average is always continuous. There's a lot of good information about VWAPs out there, guys, as well, but I've talked about this with our members as well. Is VWAP is probably one of the only indicators, guys, that big institutional investors use, and there's actually contracts that are made on VWAP. So let's say a big investor wants to buy 1 million, 2 million shares of a specific stock, right? Maybe it's not liquid enough to do that himself. Now, what he does is he goes to the broker or the execution company, whatever. Let's say, it's Charles Schwab, for example, or whoever. They will get into agreement with Charles Schwab that they will execute it at the VWAP price. And now Charles Schwab takes on the risk because the investor is promised the VWAP price. So that's why, guys, every time the price comes to VWAP, there's a lot of big movements that happen, because there's a lot of these orders that are getting filled there, because they need to get filled there, or the clearing company goes into a loss because they've already promised a specific price to their client. And that's why we came up with the concept of also like a multiple time frame VWAP, because let's say there's an order that has to be filled over a period of a month. It cannot be completed in a day. That's where the monthly VWAP comes in, and every time it goes to that monthly VWAP, we're going to have a lot of bounces or rejections.
Yeah, liquidity there.
Yeah, because there's a lot of these orders being executed at that price. So that's why I love it, and that's why it's the only thing I use other than support and resistance lines. Because at the end of the day, guys, whatever indicator you're using, you have to really understand how it's being used from the other side, right? Whether that be market makers, whether that be institutional traders, and so on. And there was a good talk this morning as well about all of this, right? Where these liquidity orders are happening and so on. So whatever you guys use, it could be moving averages, it could be VWAPs. Understand how the other side is using it. That's all, right?
You're talking about the longer time frame institutional traders, as well as some of the shorter time frame HFTs and algos. Yeah, because a level isn't just a level because it's a line, right? It is significant for a reason. Is it significant because there's a lot of orders there? Is it significant because it happened at a specific time, right? I have a couple of VWAPs as well, which are connected to like the COVID low, for example, or the FOMC meeting, right? Because these are events that are high volume, right? There's huge volatility in these days, so obviously they matter more as the price, moves for the next few days, even months.
That's good. Thanks for the explanation. Do you also use the VWAP deviation bands in your trading? And then I just had a comments coming through the chat. Thank you, chat, that my mic was a little too loud. I turned it down. Please let me know if it made a difference or not.
Yeah, you sound good to me.
Sounds good now?
Sounds good to me.
Okay, somebody else just said it was too loud. I just want to make sure we got it. Still a little loud. Okay, I will make sure of that. But can you answer that question about the use of VWAP deviation bands as well while I fix my mic here?
Yep. Personally, I do not use them. I have members who use them and do good with it, but personally, I do not. Every time I've used VWAP, I always turn off the standard deviations and I just use the middle lines, whether that be, the daily VWAP or the other ones as well. That's just my style of trading. I'm not saying they don't work, because I have, clients that do make it work and seem to work for them. But
sure,
I personally, what I like, what similar to the standard deviations, I have used, Bollinger Bands in the past, which are similar, right? But again, it's going to be too much on the chart. I don't want too much on the chart either.
Right.
I rather stick to my support and resistance levels.
Too complicated.
Yeah. So it's like, again, because every indicator or every strategy somehow works, right? So somehow works, but if you try and mix everything together, it's just going to become a complete mess. So yeah, so I rather find a system that you like and also fits your trading personality, because I could give you guys all of this and then tomorrow you're still losing money because maybe it's not for you, right? Maybe it's you can't handle the pullbacks. Maybe you want something simpler. It's all based on what you guys and how you guys trade as well. Not just because you see someone else making money and using something perfectly. Not necessarily it's going to work the same way for you as well.
Okay, we're going to jump in here. Sorry, I'll cut you off there. Just when the market's moving, we're going to jump in. Notice the chat. It's pushing up again. I had just, I'm looking at my chart here. If I had a break of 920, I had a call of, where am I at? 920. I can't even see it because it's 926.25. Looks like Patrick Whelan had the same thing. I just happened to glance over to the chat. Sorry there, but when the market's jumping in like that, we're pushing to new highs. We're putting not new highs, but new volume coming up here in like momentum. That's the keyword. Yeah. The next stop that I have is 937.25. We'll see if it reaches it or not. But thank you to the chat for calling it out. Hopefully my mic is a little bit better. They're saying it is. I love the conversation. As soon as we broke over those levels, we want to get that market moving. It's power hour. Market's powering up. We just hit our top again. We just hit it. That's 2 trades. The bots are looking great. I can't even believe this. This is amazing. It's happened yesterday too. Remember on the power hour when the market just dumped, when everything happened yesterday? The ES was going crazy. What is going on? It's slow. It comes in. We get the market open. We have some lag in the middle. And the power hour, I swear the market is listening to TopstepTV. TopstepTV.
I just made 400 on that trade off of VWAP and the S&Ps. I'm basically back to break even then.
Okay, can't hear now. I'm getting from the chat, so we're gonna put it right in the middle. We're gonna testing 1 2. I'm listening to everybody. We just kind of jumped in here on a last second thing, so my apologies for not having this tested ahead of time.
It seems like they exhaust traders all day long, and then power hour,
right?
They pump it. But yeah, key zone here, guys. As we see, we have 1 day view up right here, which we're hitting at a pause. If that breaks, next stop is day high, probably R1 there as well. But yeah, we're having a pause here. Again, as we see, there is strong supply, but candle closing in 1 second here. This is the next 30-minute candle, guys. Last 30 minutes of the day. Last 30 minutes. ES as well, hitting a key zone here, guys, right? If you're watching here. Let's wait for the levels to update. S1.
This is looking great. And thank you for the chat and everybody sticking around here for this power hour, trying to make it as enjoyable as possible.
Yeah.
Looks like the market is going along with us. TradeLikeKV is here talking about his strats.
Yep, I'm probably gonna take with you guys a trade next Friday. I'm in for the opening session, which
cool.
I love the opening bell more than the close.
Yeah, as do I. As do I. Typically, I don't really trade that much unless there's, something like that happened yesterday.
Power hour has been good yesterday and today, right? So it has been good.
It has, and look at the way this is recovering over here, right? We started off, we had that drop down from yesterday. we've almost, let's see, I'm just going to kind of mouse over the area here. It looks like the drop was around, obviously it was off the over 17,000, but it looks like the break was around 17,020. And I am talking a little bit more to make sure my mic is good, so you can shut me up there in a minute.
NASDAQ, right? 17.
In the NASDAQ, when that break came, there was a kind of a strong resistance point where it was bouncing around there at 17,020,020. And it came down, at the end of the day was 17, I'm just rough numbers, I'm just mousing over it here, 16,760 was where it came down to, and we're at 16,935-ish. That is more than halfway up.
Yep.
Nice recovery.
But yeah, we're taking a pause here, guys. As I said, there would be huge supply and sellers are definitely coming in. Will this be a short-term pullback, maybe down to opening price, and then we see a bounce there? Maybe, right? But
We just went right to the opening range high right there.
mm,
That's where the sellers started coming in this morning. So
yeah,
Yep. Yeah, so that next level up, then looking at if we cross it, I just saw my screen briefly on the chart, but yeah, if we end up going to 16,949, there's a calculation of 16,958. I know that's a little bit quick, but you can see it is up there on the screen. There's this green area right here. It's basically breaking off the pivots, and I just have a calculation I put in there. It's not that difficult. But this is great. This is great. Keep it going. Keep it pushing up, rocking and rolling. Yeah, push.
Are we going for 17,000?
I don't think we're gonna make 17,000 today. This is not trading advice. This is my opinion only, in case we didn't get that disclaimer out. I don't believe we're going to 17,000 today.
I'm seeing people in the chat ask for the indicators. I'm happy, guys, to give you access to the indicators for like 7 days so you can try them on as well. And then if you want the risk table as well, we give it to our members for free, so you can get that for free as well, so you understand how the risk is moving. Just DM me on Instagram, Topstep, so I know you came from Topstep, and then I'll give you guys access to the levels. You don't have to.
Right.
Just
very generous of you.
Yeah, put Topstep and also your TradingView username, just like we can just give you access, guys, right away. So far, price is holding here.
Looks like we're hanging around here a little bit. Those charts, for those who are seeing here, it looks like TradeLikeKV looks like it's a TradingView 1 minute chart on the NASDAQ, whereas when they have mine displayed a second ago, it's a range chart. They're a little bit different, so they're similar, because if you look back and forth, there might be something that's a little off, but they're a little similar with the 1 minute, and tick charts are the same. But just for clarification, for those who haven't seen it before.
Yeah, I have to give those a try. I haven't actually. I've seen you, Robert, that you talk about them and use them. I haven't tried them. I haven't tried them though.
Mainly, you know what? Go ahead.
Mainly, I'm waiting for 5-minute confirmations and then taking the entries on the 1 minute, and that's really it.
That's awesome, and if that's working, you should absolutely do that. The biggest reason I use the range bars is because it takes time out, right? Because I trade price movement, not time. That's just it's theory, right? So like if I look, and this is a personal preference, if I look at a 5-minute candle, I come to the market right now, I walk in, I look at the last 5-minute candle, I have no idea if it was 4 minutes and 55 seconds in the first 2 points, and then the last 5 seconds it shot up. I don't know that. It's a static candle, which is, if you're looking at a range area, it's not going to plot a candle until a certain amount of up and down movement has happened. Not number of ticks up and down, but price up and down. So just as an example, if we're using this as a 40 range, and I chose 40 because it's 4 ticks per point, so I'm looking at a 10-point candle. It works with my head. Every candle I look at is 10 points. So the market has to move 10 points and a tick before the next candle plots. And by looking at it, if the candles are, we heard the term barcoding. If they're just barcoding, in this case, white, black, or green, red, I'm not going to touch it. Do I know where it's going to go? I have no clue. I'm absolutely horrible at that. But what I do know is that if it is barcoding, I know that it's not going to stay there. I don't know if it's up or down. And if it finally breaks up, I have a pretty good idea at speculation as to where it's going to go. I'm generally pretty good at that. And you can see that on the chart. All of those levels are just marked on the chart at the start of where that area is. That's the time in daytime that it's actually marked. And you can see that those were marked, those 2 levels that it just broke through. 10:38 this morning and 10:45 this morning, those two areas were listed, and I'm just going to wait until it gets close to there, put a trade on when it gets close, and it just blew right through them. I don't have the right answers. I am not. It is not all the time. Like they're small trades. It's a high win rate small trade. But it's just the way I do it. You know, everybody's different, and I love it. I learned so much. I'm learning a ton of market profile that Hogue does, especially with the when he's talking in the Back to the Futures and with Anne-Marie and just every single person on here. We have 4 professional traders in fast markets in the morning, and every one of them does something different. It's amazing. It's why I love trading. I just freaking love it. It's unbelievable. Yeah.
Cool. What do you think? Are we gonna keep moving higher, or are we gonna just kind of cap off for the rest of the day here?
I mean, to me, as long as we're holding, right? As long as we're holding this zone here,
yeah,
it's gonna push higher to day high.
So you got we're taking out the high of the opening range in the Nasdaq now. S&P is already dead. You know, it looks like we're gonna test that high from the of the initial balance here, and if we do that, I mean, the odds are we'll probably go back to range, but because we took out the low of the initial balance earlier.
Yeah, John, can you go over that? I've heard a lot of times. I used to work with the opening range and play those breaks and fails. Now, one of your rules was if the opening range comes out, market breaks out of it, kind of retests it. That's pretty much an up day. How do you handle the days where it comes over, it comes back to it, and goes down? Do you now take shorts at the bottom, or are you just done for the day?
I mean, of course, you know, it depends greatly on context, right? Robert, everything's based on context. So this morning when the opening range opened up, when the S&Ps opened up, here's the profile for it, Robert. So here's today. The opening range was relatively large for the S&Ps, which just increases the risk on it. That and the fact that we had the volatility yesterday, I said, you know what, I don't think that the opening range is going to be successful today, and it was not. So I didn't take it today. But you know, sometimes you'll get ahead of yourself. Sometimes if like you take the opening range trade and it gives you a little bit, and then takes out the low, and you get stopped out, then you think, well, maybe I should go, you know, go short then. But it rarely works that way. I've tried that probably a couple of hundred times, and it's not very effective. So you've just got to, if it takes out the low of the opening range after taking out the high of the opening range first, you got to be patient. You got to let the market kind of rotate, and then figure out what kind of day type that you're probably going to be looking at. We looked a lot lower. You know, basically the long I took earlier was based on the base of the late spike. The base of the late spike was right here. This is the Nasdaq. Sorry, no. Nasdaq didn't even get down there. So the base of the late spike was right here, like 47.61, 47.61.
Yeah.
So I was looking for that to hold, and you know, my stop was just a little bit too tight. I got stopped out, and then I tried to squeeze my way into it by looking for a pullback. Tried that a couple of times, didn't get filled, but I just made all my money back and then some on this trade above VWAP to the highs.
I see that. I remember that from earlier. I think we were on the call there when doing the group coaching when you put that trade in. And isn't that something that when you put that trade on, goes against you, ticks you out, and then like what did it do? Went after it's a 60, went 30 points after that. Isn't that amazing?
And you know, Anne-Marie was saying, just because you get stopped out doesn't mean you're wrong, right? Yeah. If I was a little bit quicker and paying attention, I probably could have said, "Oh, now this looks tasty. We weren't able to hold below the base of the late spike. Let's try that long again," and we could have had a pretty tasty little profit off of that. I mean, we're talking, you know, let's say we bought it at 63. Well, we're almost to 93. That's 30 points, right?
Right.
That's the short I took out of the move down yesterday. 30 points.
Yeah, and it kept going, didn't it? Look at that big red bar on the left-hand side. Not big red bar, big red bars.
Right.
Right after that. How did you end up with this trade? I still have you in one long ES. Where are you at now?
Oh, I'm flat now.
Do you have P&L up there?
Oh, I was down a little bit. $37.
Down 37?
No, up.
Oh, Green Day, Green Day.
Yep, it made my day back, and I'm fine with that. It's not
It'll be
sexy,
mad.
but that's the way it is.
That's the way it is. We'll watch the screen. We get double duties here. Your P&L is going to show up there anytime now.
Yeah, it happened so fast yesterday. I don't think my P&L ever went up.
Yeah, isn't that amazing? A lot of traders caught that. We had a lot of traders kill it yesterday. They caught that. Listening every day, market's up a little too high, it's still up a little too high, it's just driving, and then Hoke, I think you called it. I'm gonna have to go and double check, but I believe yesterday morning we were talking about that on Fast Market. You said, you know what? It's going to go at some point, and it's just too far. And then lo and behold, it was a technical move, right? There were no news that came out. Somebody was trying to say about like the options thing happening, and I'm with you. Look, I don't know it, but I'm with you on the whole group of us was back here looking, what the hell just happened?
Yeah.
Looking at Twitter, looking at news, all these things. What was the catalyst? No numbers came out. It's just finally people like, you know what? If I've been long for 4 or 5 days, whatever it is, I'm just gonna close it out. And the shorts started seeing that happen, and just like I'm jumping on this bandwagon. And the more you cover those longs, the further and faster it goes down. And then when shorts jump on, the further and faster it goes down again, and you get that falling knife.
Yeah, yesterday morning it was. I got my notes right here. I mean, basically, I said the only people still buying this are laggard, weak hands longs, laggard buyers, momentum buyers are the only people buying it up there. And when you sense that, there's trouble outside your front door.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And as soon as those laggard longs got in there and started taking the heat and started getting stopped, then the others started jumping on the bandwagon, and you get a free fall.
Yeah, we had to take out that overnight all-time high that night before last, and then once we did that, it just kind of died, and that was it. Boom. That was it.
Were you part of that, KV? Did you get part of that move at the end of the day?
Last afternoon we caught it, actually. Not fully. I think it caught everyone off guard on how much it moved. When I got out, I was happy. After I saw it, how much it went lower, I was like, oh. Yeah, maybe we should have held a runner or two. But as long as you're catching the moves, guys, the thing is this: as long as you're following the plan, you should be happy, because stocks and futures contracts are always going to run, right? They're always going to run. So you can't just go back and think, oh, I sold earlier, I should have held, because after it happens, it always looks easy. But at that moment of time, if you followed the plan, if you wanted to exit at 960 and you exited at 960, be happy. No matter if it goes to 980, 990 or something, right?
Yeah, if your trade acts out as planned, be happy.
Yep, be happy. And don't try to make much sense of the market, guys, especially these volatile movements, because it doesn't make sense, right? It doesn't make sense. What you should do is just react to the price action, and that's really it. You don't have to make it. It doesn't have to make sense for you to make money.
And we know that markets will stay. What is it? Markets will be irrational longer than you can stay solvent.
Stay solvent. Is that Warren Buffett that said that?
I don't.
I want to say.
I want to say. Said it.
Okay, we'll have to get confirmation. I know Michael Patak said it, because I've said it too. I certainly didn't coin that phrase. I didn't know if that was like Warren Buffett, which I think it is, or Mark Douglas, or one of the other brilliants out there.
Yeah, I think Warren Buffett said the stock market is a vehicle for the patient to take money from the impatient.
Yeah,
Yep.
Isn't that the case? Unfortunately, I'm impatient, so probably why he's a multi-billionaire and I'm not.
Early MOC imbalance is saying 147 million buy side.
Really?
Use that however you will. I've never figured out how to use that.
Hey, look at this. We got 15 minutes left to this day. 15 minutes left of the power hour. Any questions, throw them into the chat. And you know what? Let's do this. I'm actually going to be, if you're looking at me, this is the poll creation dude right here. I'm going to put a poll in the chat, because I don't have MP here to call out starting a poll. So I'm going to do it myself. We're going to put a poll in the chat right now that is going to ask who is with us now that has been with us from the start. We're looking for you. We're looking for the bell-to-bell traders. I'm gonna put it in right now. Yeah.
Bell to
All right.
bellers. I'm there. I'm still here.
I know you are, John. This, if the traders out there can see what goes on behind the scenes, there is so much going on back here, and it's all for you. It is all for you, folks. A bunch of workhorses. I saw that earlier today where someone was like, John, they called you a beast. I second that vote.
I am the beast. The beast. The creature from the Black Lagoon. I feel like Dee's mad at me today.
Why is that?
I don't know. I think she was commenting about the markets can stay irrational longer than you can. I don't know if she's disagreeing with that, but can we do another poll? Is Deanna mad at Hogue?
That sounds like an email or a text to her. Oh, we get this time of the day, we do get delirious, don't we? But it's all for fun. I got a poll in there right now. The question is, who has been with us since the open? You can choose me, meaning yourself, halfway through the day, or just joined. 83% so far. We've only had 300 votes so far. Boy, we appreciate that. Boy, do we appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, wow. A lot of folks, huh?
Yeah.
Absolutely. There's a lot going on. We have a lot of offerings, and wait till you see 2024. It's interesting for your little behind the scene thing. If let's just say we do something Monday, for example. I'm just fictitious. We launch something on a Monday. We didn't come up with that Monday. It's been in the works for 3 weeks. So we're working on stuff now and have been working on things that's going to bring us into an awesome 2024. So make sure you stick around, spread the word, get the likes, get subscriptions, follow us on all your socials. We love it. We got a lot of stuff coming on. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Very key level for ES here as well, guys. Not sure.
It's last week's high. It's the high of the session today. Overnight high is just above that. That's up at 47.94.75.
I have R1 there as well. I have a 2-day view up here at the same place. So also the morning rejection there as well. Everything is just packed in here, guys. If you can see the ES chart, it's right there. Could go for the R1 break, but we got 10 more minutes left, so I'm not sure if
would you get into a position right now with 10 minutes?
I hate the last 10 minutes because either it makes you a lot of money or you just give up everything that you make for the day. Right? There's nothing in between.
It's either good or bad.
Yep.
Such as yesterday, if you wanted to catch it and try to take the run up thinking that market order was going to drive it through the roof, you were done. But if you decided this is too long, the market order is going to dump everything, you were right.
I mean, again, yesterday, right? You saw the drop, and you can't just think, okay, it's going to bounce here or it has to bounce. Every time you say to yourself, it has to, it doesn't happen. The market doesn't have to do anything.
That's true. That's true.
So
it has to do this. Oh man, I can't even tell you how many times I heard people say that in trading bet.
Isn't that amazing?
You're long 10 contracts, 10 points higher, but the market has to go higher.
Of course it does.
Oh, well, I would stand there and wait for him
because you're long. Low. Exactly. Way to go.
The market has to do this.
It has to.
Oh, really?
Somebody asked if we are streaming tomorrow. Yes, we are streaming tomorrow all day, baby, bell to bell. We have to make up a chant for that. It's like I'm gonna sound like really silly right now. Like bell to bell, like bell to bell. Like the football games or something. Maybe we'll ask the group, we'll ask the chat on that. Let's see if anybody is out there. Yeah.
TopstepTV, bell to bell.
Nice.
MOCE imbalances 2.2 billion to the buy side.
Really? I mean, we're going up. I still say we're not going up to all right, target hit. I don't know if you can switch to my screen real quick
Nice.
momentarily.
Nice.
We'll see exactly what I was talking about here. I want to share this with our dedicated, wonderful viewers. And we can see, I'm going to scroll it over so you can see exactly what I'm talking about. Moving on the chart. Yes, now you can see it. See where it's blue right now? This right here might be a little hard to see. It's blue because what these do, I'll back up slightly. This green right here is a long, red for short. If it turns blue, it means that area was entered. And if it clears it completely, and the candle needs to close because the colors are calculated on candle close, like that, it just turned gray. So that tells me that's a completed area. So what I look for is this is at this time of the day, look at the time down the bottom, roughly 10:48. The market said, look, if you're going to break this pivot, you should go through this area. And there's where it broke, and there's where it went through. At this point in time, at 10:30 this morning, it said, look, if you go through this area, you should hit this. It did. Now here's a real good one. This pivot right here was at 9:22 Central. Said if you clear this area, this is your target zone. It did right now. So those three zones, 1, 2, 3, cleared right at the end of the day. To be full transparency, there's a loss right here because I know this entered right here. It entered this zone on a short. This turned blue, and it went the other direction. But my stops are so damn close, I don't care. It's just going to come in. Yeah, and that's why I use the range bars. If I want a 10, I put a 15-point stop on, and I kind of try to kill it if it's like 10, 12 in there. I just don't like giving money back. That's why I use the range bars. I could just put the order in, look at it, and say, well, it's a candle and the candle back. That's 10 points. I just kind of move it around right there.
You took those trades, right?
No, for full clarity, I did not take those trades. This is Quant Tower on Topstep that I set up because they're always coming online right now. So it's literally a practice account. I just signed in and just turned it on. So these were not these are the would-be trades. So when I come on and if I'm going to be doing trading, these will be live trades and these would be the trades that were taken automatically.
Okay. Were you running them on another computer or something?
Yeah, I have the one right over here to my right hand side. I'm going to flip the camera. Okay. You can kind of see them over there. You can see them over here. On screen.
Okay.
But they are not on. To be 100% clear, my stuff was off earlier. I knew I was coming on here. I shut the things off. It's super hard to focus during the day to all of that stuff. And when I come on, I'll be turning these things on. You can see it just like everybody else. But personally, my personal computer is right here. I did not take these, full disclosure, because I had to come on here. But I love it. I love trading, folks. We got 7 minutes left to the end of this day.
7 minutes. Next stop is 977, guys, for NQ.
Is it going to make it?
Let's see. It's almost there.
Yeah, we're extending the range.
Almost there. Very clean power hour, though. Much cleaner than I expected looking at the price action during the day.
Yeah. Yeah, things change, huh?
Very good. Very good. I like it. Now, are those regular floor pivots that you're using, KV? You know, the R1, S1, or you do have a little different formula in there, or are they the standard ones that come with trading?
Yeah, no, it's my formula. Yeah, it's my formula.
Oh, good. Good.
Yep.
Yeah, you weren't in yet. He was talking about that. He calculates those.
Good. Way to go. Do you do the coding in PineScript also? Is that what you do?
PineScript, yeah. I started all this with ThinkScript on Thinkorswim since I was doing options. And then I transitioned fully to TradingView charts last January, actually. So I had to get into PineScript as well.
PineScript is so easy as far as I'm concerned. I shouldn't say it's easy, but simple because it's based on Python, and you can almost, if you want a line on the chart, you put plot, line equals, ticks equal. It's really pretty. It's not simple, but pretty straightforward, and they have great documentation. Whereas, and that's what I started 6 years coding in TradingView. I got like 60 indicators out there, but there was no automation, so I had to move to NinjaTrader, which is NinjaScript, which is a version of C# and is a pain in the butt. So I moved to Quant Tower, and that's where all the stuff is Quant Tower now, which is native C#, which is much easier.
Oh, you could actually do. I use Quant Tower for futures, but I only execute there. I still have everything on TradingView.
The whole thing is open source, including the platform. So if you want to make the platform operate differently, you want to change the icon of your, buy and sell buttons. Everything is open source with Quant Tower.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so it's cool. All right, 5 minutes ready to go. Where are we pushing? Let's hear from the chat. Let's take a. I'm gonna do a verbal poll in the chat. Let's pick the number 16,970. It's a nice round number. It's that high over here. Are we closing above or below 16,970?
That was the overnight high, right?
Mm-hmm. It sure was.
Yeah.
I'm actually gonna. I'm you know what?
970.
Closing above.
Jay Cook says 16,950.75. Maybe that's not the. Maybe he's not answering that question.
I am gonna put a poll. Is NQ closing above or below 16,970?
Below, above.
Oh, I just hit yes or no. I'm sorry. Yes if it's above. No if it's below.
ES much stronger in the close here, guys. ES going for the day high actually, while we have a pullback happening on NQ. A little bit of a divergence there as we're getting into the close.
You can throw the ES chart up there.
I got it right up here.
Nice.
Yeah, I just took out the overnight high in the S&Ps.
Nice. Nice. Cleared the R1.
ES closing strong, yep.
We had some negative delta all day long, but I didn't think it was useful because, I mean, price actually moved lower, and then we started eating up that delta on the way up. We're about back to even as far as delta is concerned. So, Andre, you didn't miss anything.
Yep. Somebody asked in the chat there if I did coding in NinjaTrader. Here's in Discord. There is a coaches area. All the coaches have their individual channels, and then there's an area where we did group coaching or like this the webinars sessions at nighttime. They're all recorded, and one of those, it's about a month and a half old now, is I actually did a start to finish coding of an automated trading bot in NinjaTrader live online, and you can watch the whole thing. It's free. It's there. Start to finish using the strategy builder, step by step, nothing to full production. We ran it, and there's some traders using it. I get messages every now and then. So if you want to see how you can do it on your own without actually having to know any type of coding, in NinjaTrader, there's a strategy builder. You can pick and choose. If this candle does that, if it's over this MA, if this level is broken, do this, go short, what's your target profit? It's all in there. But take a look at it. It's typically the sessions are an hour long. I believe that one was 2 hours because we did an entire bot building from start to finish.
Cool.
But go ahead and Discord, check it out. Yeah, we recorded the whole thing, and I took it from the audience, from the viewers. I started with and it's, to be clear what it is, it's a reversal. We said I have one candle up, and then the next candle was above it but closed lower, and then did another candle lower, and we simply went short. And then opposite for going long. We have a candle down, we go one. Yep.
Where can we see this video?
This is in Discord in the coaches area. I should know it off the top of my head what it's called, but it's a group coaching area. We'll see all the coaches' channels, and it's right at the top there. It's for live free coaching. Yeah, there's a whole. It's not just me. That's one I built, but every day there's something going on in there. Dakota is unbelievable. Jay, Ray, Paul, all the coaches do stuff in there. They're all recorded for the traders for free in Discord. Go in there, have a ball, hang out with everybody. But that was one somebody asked me about the ninja coding, and go for it. It just goes start to finish. Coach's Library. Thank you, Jay Cook, Coach Jay Cook. Coach's Library. They are all there for you to get. Have a ball. Ask us questions. We're here for you.
We got 20 seconds left on the day here, ladies and gentlemen. KV, anything else you want to add?
Nope. I mean, again, we're seeing that strength on ES closing here at the highs while NQ is lagging. Let's see how this plays out tomorrow before the 3-day weekend.
Yeah.
Awesome. There you go. There you go. And we didn't make the 970, but if you're in Topstep, you can trade till 310. Don't do it. There's the closing bell.
The bell.
There you go. All right.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you very much, everyone. Thanks for hanging out with us today.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Tomorrow's Friday. Tomorrow's Friday. Hopefully Eddie's feeling better, and we'll have Eddie back with us tomorrow. And have a great evening. We'll see you tomorrow morning.
8 a.m.